Welcome to the Style Sports Hub, presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Sports Hub podcast presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics and Lake Sumter State College. I'm your host, Kyle Coppola. Today we are on with the Tavares High Band. I want to welcome on Gavin Hall and Cole Bushman, who are associate directors. So thank you guys for joining us today.
Yeah, well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, we're glad to be here. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. The Big Red Marching Band, I absolutely love every time that we get to hear you guys play out there. You guys are coming off a very successful season. Tell us a little bit about what you accomplished last weekend.
So we were at our music performance assessment at the Villages High School, and we get to perform, and usually all the bands in the area get to perform, and we were able to perform and get straight superiors. So it's a good mark for the band program. We're super proud of them. They went out there and really, I think they did their best, and that's what we're looking for every single time. So.
For those who don't know what straight superiors mean, what is a straight superior?
Yeah, so straight superior is really the goal, right, that every director wants to hit. And what that superior rating is kind of defining is that you're always doing something really, really well in whatever caption it's in, right? So our kids went out there last weekend, and through every single caption they were assessed in, they hit that mark of this is always present, and these are the right things that are going. So they hit those straight ones, which we're really proud of them for.
And it was a big competition too. I mean, they were all the best bands were there. Of course, Eustis, the Villages, all sorts of bands from all over the area. Leesburg showed up, and so many bands did really well there. It seemed like a really good experience. Describe the experience of marching at the Villages' brand new facility over there, because it's impressive.
Yeah, it was really great driving in, and you're like, wow, are we on a college campus right now? Right. Like this is really fabulous, and the kids really enjoyed. They have a turf field. They had really good concessions. Kids love that kind of stuff. But the experience for them performing was top notch. I think they really, really did their best in terms of the marching, the music, and everything like that. So,
Gavin, as far as you go, what was the best part about it for you?
Oh wow. Well, just as Cole just stated, the facilities there were amazing. I mean, it felt like a special place for the kids to perform, which was really, really cool. But for me, it really boiled down to, I mean, it's an event where all the local groups get to come together and show off what they've been working so hard to do, right? Mm-hmm. So to be able to celebrate the successes of not only your own program, but the other programs around you, who suffered through the same amount of hurricane days, who, had the same long, hot and sweaty band camps and all that stuff. We're able to come together and celebrate that together and show off what we've been working towards. So to me, that's the magic of it.
I think it's really cool too to honor the bands too, because I mean every Friday night out there, the band is what makes a Friday night football game.
Absolutely.
It's nothing without the bands, right? And even
bring the energy.
They bring the energy,
right.
And to see them honored and to see these kids go out there and earn the superior ratings, I think that's fantastic.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, it's good to hear that.
It's good to give them some hoorah, yes, let's go band, and we're happy to see that. They put a lot of work in, those kids do. Mm-hmm. And it's cool to see that.
Let's talk about the work that goes into this band, because you are highly regarded as one of the top bands in Lake County each and every year. I mean, when you listen to you guys, I mean, it's just incredible, the sounds that come out from these high school students. Talk about the work that goes in and week out.
Well, okay. So it all starts, I guess, week by week. We have 2 rehearsals a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 to 8. And that's where the show really starts to come to life. So we review marching fundamentals and playing fundamentals, and then start learning where we go on the field when, right? And what's playing at that time. We have this about 6 hours a week of rehearsal, plus like an hour before a football game or something like that. But for the most part, again, we put a lot of it on the kids. It's a great student leadership, and they're the ones organizing sectionals to make sure their peers are staying up to par and wherever that falls. So again, a lot of the hard work comes from the students and what they're able to put out. We just organize the day and make sure that we're hitting the marks that we need to hit,
And it starts in the summer. They have their band camp. And our band camp is a week long. It runs from, I think, 8 to 8.
8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
12 hours. They're out there working really hard. And those kids, it's a little hot. And they put the time in, though. And you see the success that comes from that. Them putting the time in day after day and really working hard. So
yeah, it's great to see their success out there as well. And for you guys, you're not just band directors, associate band directors. You also teach at the Tavares High School. What do you teach?
Yeah, so I teach in the morning. I teach jazz band, and then AP Music Theory, which is like a higher level music course where the kids kind of, if they want to go into college, they can take that course and feel ready for that, which is really cool. And then I teach guitar as well as the normal band, concert band, and percussion. So quite a few different things throughout the day.
Yeah. My day looks pretty similar, but just a few differences here and there. I teach a general music class at the very beginning of the day where we get a lot of recruitment for kids who may have missed that bus in 6th grade. So it gets their chops going and ready to potentially, hopefully, join the band program later in the future. I teach an IB music program, which is similar to the AP theory class, but more of a holistic approach to music analysis and stuff like that. So we're hoping for the best for those kids on their degree program. The main band classes, as always, and I also teach a guitar class, as well as make sure the color guard's staying on top of things. And I love how the students are in AP courses too. You get a lot of smart students as well. Do you ever send kids off to NCAA Division I programs? Do they go and play band at the next level, or have you ever had kids that have done that? Because obviously for football and basketball, we have kids going to the next level and deciding to do that. Have you had any kids do that as well? Yeah. So a couple of kids went to my alma mater, Stetson University, Brianna Poles and Ian Owens, and Brianna Poles actually came back and taught at our school. So they graduated with a music degree, and now they're going on to get their graduate degree, which is really cool. And then Ian is about to graduate right now from Stetson. And then some kids have gone to USF. We've had kids go to UF and FSU. So just depends. If they get the music degree, they'll keep going. And it's really cool to see them kind of, some of them are going to be teachers too. So, yeah, which is really awesome. I think we even have or at least you have a former student who's at Yale now for their master's.
Yeah.
Justice Yates, right?
Yeah, Justice Yates. Yeah. He was in our program, I think 6 years ago actually now, but he was a wonderful performer, and he's now at that top level of school, which is really, really neat.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very neat. As far as you guys go, I got to ask, what's your favorite instrument? A lot of guys, people have different instruments. They like, what's your favorite instrument?
Oh, man.
I'll go first. My favorite instrument, I think, is the piano. It's, in my opinion, the most versatile in terms of what you can play. You can do almost anything with it, and I love that. And you kind of just sit alone and play it. You know what I mean? And you can be in your own world while doing it, and it's enjoyable instrument to play.
Yeah. Mine would definitely, I'm going to be a little biased. I'm going to have to say the French horn. It's my primary instrument. I've been playing it the longest. And the benefit for me on it is I love hearing the sound of it, right? So that's great for a good band program. But also it's my escape, right? Finding that time to perform on your own, that's usually where I default. Yeah. So, yeah, I love that instrument.
Well, let's talk about the Tavares football team as well, which is really exciting. 2 years ago, the team went 0-10. Obviously, that was really difficult to go through, hard to see that. And then they hired Gavin Jones back, and head coach Gavin Jones. He's been building the program back. Last year, 5 wins. This year, team's looking really good down the stretch. It's got to feel good to go out there with the band, too, on a Friday night and play, and the team's winning football games.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for what Mr. Jones has done at that high school football team program. Those kids are disciplined. I've noticed a change in their character and the way they go out there on that field, and I have a ton of respect for that. And they're really, really working hard too. We're out there on the field practicing. They're out there on the field practicing. It's kind of cool to see that camaraderie between us and them. And even at games, we're saying hi to the coaches. They're saying hi to us, and then we go out there for halftime, and they're supporting us too. And that's cool. It's like a team. We're together on that.
Yeah, that really is the beauty of those Friday nights. We have a great relationship with Coach Jones, and I know between our two programs, we share resources incredibly well. And again, like Cole was saying, this is incredibly supportive. So again, being able to come together on a Friday night and celebrate it from both angles is a phenomenal thing.
It's fun to, when they win and we do the alma mater at the end of the game and everyone's together, and it's a moment for the school, and not just the band, not the football team, not the cheerleaders, color guard. It's everyone together, and that's the magic of those football games every Friday night.
Absolutely. What's your favorite part about band competitions?
Wow. Yeah. So other than the way we kind of try to think about it is it's always a competition against ourselves, right? Can we go out there and put the best performance we've had within ourselves? Just be able to produce that, right? Now, obviously, the results at the end sometimes work in your favor, and that's always a great thing. But you just take it as they come. But again, the best part of competition is being able to hit those check marks throughout the year, right? It's like, okay, we're going to work up to this first little, check mark or halfway point, and let's just see how we stack up against everybody else around it. And we got another competition in 2 weeks. Let's see how much we've grown since then, right? And all that leads up to that MPA performance at the end, where it's like, where do we stand now, right? Here at the end of the season. So again, those competitions are great just for that internal motivation. It's between us as directors and where we're going to take the program and where the students need to, kind of start focusing for the next one.
Yep. It's great to see other programs too, because we went to Jacksonville, we got to see all those bands up there, and then we went to Merritt Island, we got to see the bands over there. So you kind of get out as well, and there's some awesome things going on. So it's cool to compete against different schools and go, okay, how are we doing? We're doing great. So it's cool to see that, and you don't want to compare, but you just want to see, wow, they are doing some awesome things too. What can we take away from those programs that are doing awesome things as well?
Yeah, have you ever been to a program, you've like seen what they're doing, you pick it up and you bring it back to your program, you're like, let's do this.
Yeah, that's kind of the nature of the gig. I mean, the beauty of it is, we're always in cahoots with those other directors out there. And it's like, hey, man, what are you doing for that practice? It's like, oh, man, we got rained out. So how do you handle that? This, that, or the other, wherever it is, and even outside of marching band. So I guess we're blessed also just to be down here with a good collection of other band directors where we can share those resources and ideas with each other.
Yeah, sometimes it's as simple as like, wow, they did a really cool visual. They rippled across the field. Like, we're stealing that.
Yeah, that's next year. That's going in
there.
Yeah. So, absolutely.
Just like football plays or basketball plays, you see a really good play or something like that, and you're like, we're going to do that.
Yes. Or even see
where
it
works.
Yeah, and even seeing where the trends are going, right? It's like, oh, there's a lot more dance on the field in these next few years. Okay, I guess we got to start learning how to dance, whatever it is.
One of the things, band has changed over the years. What are some of the changes that you've seen in band the last couple of years?
In our area, I've seen the jazz band scene kind of come alive. The jazz bands in this area have really been kind of on top of their game, and they're getting really good, which is cool. I think in the marching band realm, you're like he's saying, you're seeing a little bit more like artistic. They used to just go in blocks and move around the field, and now you're looking at, you got some visuals to add to the music. You're doing things that kind of make the audience think a little bit more and kind of get into the music a little bit more, which is cool. And concert band's kind of the same. You're sitting down and playing music. So
yeah. And I would even say the level of concert band so far around us has been growing. Just that level of standard has been raised every time, which is kind of a fun mark to try to reach, right? So
yeah. Before we go to break, you have a fun story about how you even came to Tavares High School. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So it is kind of a unique tale. So Mr. Bushman here started 8 years ago? Where are you at now? Yeah, 8 years ago. And I remember it was his very first band camp, and he gave me the call and said, hey, I really need somebody to help work the trumpets and stuff. And I was still in college, so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll be happy to come out. So that was a cool experience just in that sense, where I wasn't on staff. I was just coming in for the week to work the band camp, what have you. Well, then a few years go by. I finished teaching my first year at St. Cloud Middle School. COVID hits. So that year gets cut in half pretty quickly. And then over that summer break, this guy gives me the phone call and is like, I have finally worked the pieces around in a way that I think I can get you here, which worked out incredibly well. We went to college together at Stetson University, so we got to know each other through that from the get-go. And then I guess the stars aligned in a way to where we were able to open it up and be one of the first, or the first program in Lake County to have 2 band directors in it. So again, just kind of all worked out to our benefit. Yeah,
I remember my first day teaching high school band. I was just got the job at Tavares, and the first person that showed up on staff was this guy. He was just there. He's like, what do you need? I'm here to help you. And that stuck with me. And I remember they were like, well, we're looking at getting a second person. I was like, wow, that's fabulous. Thank you so much. And the first person I thought of was you that first day, man. It was crazy and I was like, what do you think? And he's like, okay.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
And we've been teaching together now 5 years at Tavares, and I think it's really helped having 2 people. It kind of makes the job a little less stressful.
Is that because you focus on one thing, you focus on another? Like, what do you 2 focus on?
Yeah, so I'm a woodwind player. He's a brass player. So that alone helps, half the band's woodwind, half the band's brass in terms of the instruments. So that can right away helps a ton. And then just the responsibilities, the logistics, getting the kids around. We have a lot of kids. So just having 2 people takes that weight off and really, really helps
Yeah.
You got choreography and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
You guys-
Oh yeah, so one person can tackle that, the other this.
He does a lot of the marching with the marching band, like the actual movements, and I'll do some of the music stuff. So we kind of trade responsibilities there as well.
Well, we'll talk to one of those students coming up next on the Sports. We will talk with Trey Rivers, who's a band member. That's coming up next.
Is pain or restricted range of motion keeping you on the sidelines? Get back in the game with expert orthopedic care from UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics. UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics provides robotic-assisted surgical joint repairs and replacements, post-operative care, and inpatient rehabilitation services, all close to home, right here in Lake and Sumter counties. And for those unexpected injuries, UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics offers convenient walk-in and same-day appointments. To learn more or to schedule an appointment with one of their specialists, call 352-323-5665.
Hey everybody, we are back here on the Sports Hub. We're talking with the Tavares Big Red Marching Band. I want to welcome them back onto the show. Right now, we got the drum major Trey Rivers on with us. Trey, thanks for coming on to the program.
Thank you so much for having me, sir.
Yeah, a very exciting year for the Tavares Big Red Band. Talk about Trey and what he's brought to the program the last couple of years.
Yeah, Trey is a fantastic leader. He's one of 2 drum majors this year, but he's been drum major for the last 2 years. So he's kind of has that experience of leading the band program in multiple ways, but he's been a great asset to our band program for sure.
Trey, for those who don't know what a band what is a band director?
Drum major.
Drum major does. What does a drum major do?
The title itself is in its simplest form is just the conductor, but the way that we practice it in our program is not just the conductor on the field of who's waving their hands and showing them the time, but we also are the head of the leadership, and we make sure that everything from logistical things of all the rest of our leadership getting things done, get done, and then crowd control, just little head student jobs, I'd say. It's, if the kid's in charge, if they're not around, I have to step up and do whatever needs to get done.
Well, you stepped up this weekend because your team got all superiors at the district competition. What was that like this weekend? That must have been a lot of fun.
It was a really great experience. We've been to MPA every year, of course, because it's a yearly assessment, and this is the final MPA for me, of course, because I'm a senior, and it's the one time I've walked off of the field after having a performance, and I've thought there's literally nothing that could have gone better. That was just no relief, no regrets. It was just wow, that was great, and I got to move on with my night, and it was just a fun experience as well because the Villages High School was beautiful, had great what's the word, I guess.
It was like a college.
Yeah, not their utilities, their
Facilities.
Facilities, that one. Yeah, they had great facilities, and campus was beautiful, and it was just a nice night overall.
You hear what Trey says. He comes off and he feels like he could have done nothing better. That's got to make you feel good as an associate director.
Yes, it really does. When we finished the performance and they were done, you can kind of watch their faces as they come off the field, and you kind of go, wow, they nailed it. And not because what you heard, but because their face. They walk off that field and they look proud of what they've done, and they look like they nothing can go better. Some of them are crying because just the overwhelming emotion of performing at that high level, and it's cool to see as a band director. That is a cool feeling. Yeah.
Trey, you've done this the last couple of years. Now coming into your senior year, what's been your favorite part about performing in the band?
My favorite part about performing, of course, is whenever it comes to being a drum major, at least, it's the ability to almost have control over the band and what they're putting into their energy. So whenever I'm up there, they're all looking at me, asking not asking for guidance, but they look to me to show them what they're supposed to be thinking or feeling, or how loud or how soft, or the timing and a bunch of different things, and getting able to be in front of all of them, and just how I move my hands or whatever, that affects completely what they sound like and what they're moving, and you can feel it almost. It's a really strange feeling, but it's really interesting, and it feels nice. I was actually going to ask though, because I just thought about this now whenever we were talking about the jobs of a drum major, and we were talking about the emotions of kids coming off the field. One of the things that I've noticed and I've taken a liking to being drum major was throughout the past 2 years, my role in relation to the other drum major, I feel like I've been like emotional support drum major, where like I always am the type to where we get off the field and my first reaction is to look at everyone's faces. And we're walking off the field, we get far enough away, I'm the first person to give them a hug, talk them through it, or then like with like we were saying, everyone walking off with a more happy face than usual, it really did increase the energy of that night. It made it more relieving for me, even if I had nothing I could have done better, but everyone else had the same energy and it felt great. So
how'd you end up getting into being a drum major too? Because like I'm not, that's a very important position as far as the band goes.
So they have a formal interview process where they have to, they literally sit in an interview. They have to do letters of recommendation. They have to get teacher recommendations, and then they have to conduct. And we go one at a time and make sure that they know what they're doing here, as well as kind of the leadership as well. So it's a big process for them. Rewarding process though. It's kind of like being the team captain in a way, right? So you have to have that role of, we look to you, and that they're going to be successful in that position.
What have you learned about yourself the last couple of years? Now that you're a senior, of course, you're coming into the final year of your high school career, and you want to play in college as well. You're looking at doing that as well. But what's some of the biggest things that you've learned about yourself personally being in the band?
I've learned how much I enjoy like personal relationships, because being the drum major, you have to have a personal relationship with every single person that you're conducting with, because at every point, you have to be looking at someone. So at the end of the day, I have a personal connection to like 99 other people, and the relationships I've built throughout the program have been so meaningful to me, and it just have taught me more about how much I am like a people person, and I enjoy talking to other people, and I love getting to know people, and so being able to get them to know them closer and be almost in charge of them and oversee them has been nice.
Yeah, and Cole, I think that's, as far as a team goes, I mean, it's great to see that, because these kids become a team over the course of their careers, and just like a football team or a softball team or basketball team, this is a band team, and everybody teams together to make it all happen, and then to go out with superiors like that, that's really fantastic to put that all together.
Yeah, it's cool. The first day they show up at band camp, I always tell them, hey, welcome to Big Red. That's kind of our slogan. And, that from that day on, they're a team. And it's the same. I related a lot to building a sports team, because you have coaches and we have staff. You have to train them just like you would in any sport. And it's that camaraderie of, we have to work together for the success of the program. And I played some sports as well when I was a kid, and that was the same kind of mentality. And it's really cool to see the connection between those two things, and those students being able to grow through that process and, be successful at the end.
Do you remember the first time you ever picked up an instrument, and then you go from the first time you picked up an instrument to now, and sort of how that changed? I remember the first time I ever picked up an instrument, I was like, what do I even do? Like, I didn't know how to clean it or anything like that. But, through time you learn. But what was your first experience like picking up an instrument?
My first experience like picking up an instrument was like the typical one for most like band people, which was like 6th grade. But instead of like having a lot of times we do a thing where everyone gets to try everything. I joined like a month later or something, so I was just in the room with just the director of the middle school I was at, and he gave me like a mouthpiece, and then he's like, well, this is the instrument, and this is what it's gonna be called, And I remember he like put it in front of me. I tried to play it. I didn't understand why I was playing that, but I couldn't remember what it was called, and I couldn't read it either, because it was my main instrument now it's euphonium, but I like looked at it and I couldn't read the word, because it's like EUF, like PHIUM or something. And I was just like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? what is this big hunk of metal I'm holding? Like, I can barely even like blow into it. What is it? And, of course now I've grown to love it, and I've improved so much. And then marching and like the marching band equivalent of it, then growing up to be the drum major, it's a big, it's a big journey that I've been on. So it's interesting to think about, but I What was the question that I'm trying to answer?
Okay. What was the question I even asked?
I don't know. Because you talked about my journey. And I was like, okay.
What was it like picking up that instrument?
Yeah. So I guess what was it like picking the instrument up for the first time and then to now? I guess
it's been a interesting process of growth and a lot of stuff I've learned, and I continue to learn every day. Of course, like I said a minute ago, the first time I picked it up, I was confused as to what I was holding. I didn't know what I was doing, and now I have to help people every day who have that same look on their face. So.
Well, Trey, we certainly wish you the best of luck with the rest of your senior year, and congratulations on the big performance this past weekend.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate you.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming on. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to have Alyssa Liddy on with us. She's one of the color guards, so we'll be back in just a moment.
Are you ready for your future to take flight? Whether you're graduating high school or looking to level up, Lake Sumter State College offers affordable degrees and certificates that will punch your ticket to success in a rewarding career. Plus, with programs like Direct Connect to UCF, your opportunities with LSSC are endless. So, what are you waiting for? Join us in Leesburg, Claremont, Sumterville, Four Corners, or online. Learn more at lssc.edu.
Hey, everybody. We are back here on the Sports Hub podcast presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics. I'm your host, Kyle Coppola. We are talking with the Tavares Big Red Marching Band. I want to thank you guys for coming on. We got Gavin Hall on with us. And we also have Alyssa Liddy, one of the Color Guard members. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you're part of the Color Guard. Tell us a little bit about the Color Guard and what you all do, because I always see you twisting the flags out there, but there's so much more to it than that.
Yeah, so the color guard is a visual representation of what the band is playing, like music-wise. So this year we had our show called Journey in Time. So we had a lot of clock flags, and we did a lot of dance moves where it represented a clock. So we do dance, flag, rifle, saber. We're just very much that visual representation of the band.
Gavin, you kind of oversee the Color Guard. Explain sort of what goes into the Color Guard and what happens.
Yeah, for sure. I think oversee would be a bold word, even though we kind of talked about it just a little bit. We have a huge accreditation to our awesome Color Guard director. Yes, our Color Guard director, Dr. Brian Ogle, who comes in, takes time out of his day and work schedule to really work them, because he is a true aficionado in that craft. But as far as in class is concerned, right, he's not able to be there. So what my big focus with the Guard is, one, to make sure they stay on task, as teenagers with free time can sometimes take advantage of. But really, it's working close with Liddy and the other two section leaders here to ensure that their teaching style with the whole team is something that's productive, as well as working for that individual, right? So I know we've had a few conversations throughout the past few months where it's just now how did you approach working with the whole team? Oh, we were doing subgroups. Okay, well, how are we cycling through them, right? And just trying to find those leadership opportunities for them so that they can continue to grow while getting the team to elevate themselves. Yeah.
Liddy, how did you get into Color Guard? Is that something that, how did you get into it, basically?
So I started in middle school, 6th grade. I saw the booth at the club fair, I guess, at the middle school, and I was like, oh, that looks really interesting. I've never seen anything like that before. I joined in 6th grade, and then I've been doing it till now, so 7 years. And it's been a really amazing process.
Well, let's talk about your experience at the Villages this past weekend, because you got all superiors. Congratulations. That was very exciting. What was that experience like for you?
It was amazing, honestly. I had never performed in a stadium that big, and I think everyone else in the band can side with me on that. It was just an amazing stadium, and seeing all the bands and parents there that work so hard for us, supporting us there, it was really amazing.
That stadium is named after Harold and Gary Morse, who were the original creators of the Villages. So interesting tidbit there, but it's really cool to have your band members perform in front of something like that, because it's really a unique thing to have that in the community, and the fact that you're able to go out there and perform as well as you did, and of course, you practice all year long for that. What was the most rewarding part about it for you, Gavin?
The most rewarding part of all of that definitely has to be just letting these kids be in an environment where they could perform to their fullest heart's content at their top ability, and to find that success through doing that, right? Yeah. This was a culmination of all the hard work that they've put up to that point, and to be able to have that performance that allows them to just cash all that in, if you will. That's hands down the most rewarding experience of the whole thing. Plus, to play in a stadium that feels somewhere special, right? We don't play in stadiums like that of that capacity very often. So I think even walking in there, even the bus ride in the parking lot over, made it feel like we're entering something that is special and is going to mean something going forward. So I think that overall is the most rewarding experiences of it.
You've performed for quite a few years. What's been your favorite thing that you've ever done as far as band goes?
I would say performing. Like, I think just the performance aspect of what we do is my favorite part. I love sharing a story, and being able to communicate through a different way that people usually don't see. And I think that is something that's like really underrated, like about color guard, is like, oh, they just spin flags. Like, no, like we communicate a story, and we're just that visual representation, and I think that's really special.
I think it's absolutely beautiful, and it adds so much to the band, because it's one thing to have your marching band, but to have the color guard there and twisting the flags and just adding beauty to a piece of music. And a piece of music is supposed to evoke emotion, and every time you see them go out there and you see that color guard, they add so much to it, Gavin.
Yeah, no, they really do. It's a fantastic team we have too this year, and I think Melissa here is a big part of why it's as large as it is now, and compared to years past. But yeah, that visual element to what we do, what the instrumentalists are doing out on that field, is definitely very, very imperative to everything we do. And I know they're going to carry that success into their winter season, which is really good news. And then also some of them, even like Alyssa here, even plays flute in the concert bands going into after marching season. So we're going to keep you busy for sure. But it's cool for people like you to be able to see both sides of that coin, and I know you'll be able to take that well.
As far as you're a senior coming into the final months of your high school career, what do you want to do after? Do you want to continue to play in band after?
100%. I'm super interested in spinning in a college guard. My two top schools are University of Florida and University of South Florida, and they have really amazing programs out there. So I'm just really excited to see where my college applications take me.
Well, we're very excited for you. Hopefully you're able to do that. And we were talking with Gavin earlier about some of the successful kids that have gone on and done band at the next level, and that's really cool for the program as well. When you get kids that want to go to these NCAA programs and potentially do that.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing. It's amazing to see what these kids are able to go out and do after they leave the program. I know between Mr. Bushman and myself, we strive to make them as good as musicians as we can. But at the end of the day, it's making them better people. Yeah. Right? And it's through discipline. It's through that idea of integrity, right? That and working hard for something that will reward you later, right? Mm-hmm. Those are the life lessons we really want those kids to learn before they leave our program. And a lot of them are ending up doing that, going out in the world, changing the world, making more money than both of us already at this rate. But you know what? We're very proud of them for those kind of things. So that's really cool.
Last question I have for you, Alyssa. As your career winds down in high school, what is a piece of advice that you would give to a younger student coming up through? Because you were there at one point, and you come on and you come onto the color guard, and it's grown actually since you've been on. What's your advice to them?
I just think, don't take anything for granted. Take every team as what it is and the strengths that they can grow, and see the potential of what you can do later. I think that's really why we've grown the way we've grown, is we've tried to always uplift the culture in our guard program, and just have a good family, be super connected. So I would just say get connected with the people around you, because that's the biggest part of it, is being there for another person while doing what you love.
That's beautiful. I couldn't have said it better myself. So
Neither could I.
absolutely. I want to thank you all for coming on. This has been so fun. You're our first band that we've ever had on the Sports Hub, which is awesome. And I appreciate you guys coming on and talking with us. Best of luck with the rest of the season as well, because now it comes into concert band season, which is really exciting for you guys.
Yeah, it'd be a nice change of pace for everything, and we get to just continue making music and performing to our heart's content and at the best level we can. So we thank you for allowing us to be on here and being your first band program on here. That's also
Thank
really
you.
cool.
That's always really cool. So hopefully we can do it more with other bands in the area. So
that'd be awesome.
I want to thank Gavin and Cole for coming on. Trey and Alyssa, thank you guys so much. That's going to do it for the Sports Hub. Want to thank our sponsor, UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics and Lake Sumter State College. And we're going to see you on the next edition of the Sports Hub next week.
This has been the Style Sports Hub, presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics.